There is no diagnosis that I'm aware of that I can share. I can tell you we are not aware of any state-ordered mental health commitments for this individual.
Chief, could you talk?
So a reporter asked the chief of police, are you aware of any diagnosis of any mental condition? Nope. Really? Well, maybe, I like how he rephrased his answer. I don't know of any state-ordered diagnosis. Here's the chief of police. He knows this dude was whacked. But he can't say because, the position he's in, but he worded it perfectly. I don't know of any state-ordered diagnosis. I'm done with these people. I am completely done. You play your cosplay, do whatever you want, make fun of people who pray, but we're done with it. Listen to this.
Donald Trump has the power to do something about this. After Parkland, he repeatedly said, you guys are cowards. You're not going to do anything because you're afraid of the NRA. We need to do something about guns. That is what he said. And then he met with the NRA and did nothing. Why? Because he is a coward. And my message to Donald Trump is that you are a coward, sir. You are not going to do anything about this issue because you are terrified of the NRA, even though you have the power to save tens of thousands of lives. You were the strongest president in modern American history with a chokehold over your party and both chambers of Congress. You have the power to end this, but you are not going to because you're a damn coward.
Well, this gets...
Oh, big tough guy. I bet you he even benches 130 pounds as well. Like all of them. They talk a lot of crap on television. That was David Hogg, the one who got fired from his short-term job at the Democrat National Committee. And then, boom, he was done. Man, these people talk so much trash. But they never address what exactly is wrong. You're looking at a major deflection happening by always focusing on the instrument instead of the person wielding an instrument. If somebody got hit in the face with a flipping violin at a concert, are they going to blame the violin or the violinist who threw it at them? That instrument didn't cause it. The person caused it. They will not take any personal accountability. And unfortunately for them, at least at this point, nobody's listening to them anymore.
A little nuance, and I teach a class on this in Georgetown. This individual appears to be what we call a nihilist. And not to get into too much detail about their ideology, they believe that no lives matter. I believe that calling this or investigating this as an attack against Catholics, I believe, is a little disingenuous, and it plays into the far right's narrative about Christians being under attack in this country. Clearly, since this person went to this school, it appears to be, and we don't know their background. But I think that we're starting to see the creepings of the politicization of this tragedy. And you'll start seeing that more and more. I've already seen that online from some lawmakers. But with that said, I appreciate any hate crime to be investigated as an act of domestic terrorism, so long as it's within the scopes and the reasonability of the law and really meets the purposes of what we're looking to do in terms of the investigation.
Did you see anything else online? You're a teacher. Scary. He's a professor, and he's like, there's nothing wrong here. There's no hate crime this time. There's other hate crimes when it's against black people, but there's no hate crime here, and I haven't seen anything online to lead me to believe that. Again, from what I told you last night, they don't want you to see what this kid posted, and because they don't want you to see what he posted, and they've taken it down everywhere, they can substantiate what they say by bringing in some shill to say to everybody, oh, there's nothing. I haven't seen anything. I have. I actually saw a rendering, a drawing by the actual kid of the church. The chapel. And I saw him take a knife. And then I saw him with a magazine with big, giant bullets in it. And he said on it, for the kids. It's amazing to me the gaslighting that these people are doing on Americans. Or trying to. They are praying. They are hoping that you never see the truth, that you will never, ever get to see what this man posted, this boy, whatever. And because you can't see it, It didn't exist. That's the real reason for what they're doing. They don't want anybody in the general public who's not on a podcast, who doesn't have any frontal lobe working on their own, who didn't search and didn't find it right away, because right now you can't find it. If you go back and look at people's X-Files, if you go back and look at my video yesterday, but I'm talking on the surface level, it doesn't exist. And they're counting on that. And then their response right now is because the only thing you can see is that the kid shot up the church. So it's got to be the gun.
I think their point is, and my point would be as well, that you pray and you think for people, and it is important to acknowledge the pain and suffering that folks are going through, but you also take decisive action. And the action here is to make sure that this shooter did not have those guns that they obtained, in their own words, shockingly easily.
Yeah, it'd be easy to make sure they didn't have those guns if you treated transgender identity problems as mental health problems, which is exactly what it is. I'm sorry. You want me to prove I'm not evil to own a gun, but I'm a bigot because I want you to prove you're not crazy because you want to change your identity. Those two things don't line up for you. I don't get that.
I love how he said that. Yeah. They're not willing to put a box around crazy. They're not willing to look at people and go, yeah, you're pooped. You're done. You shouldn't have this or should that. You have to qualify. You have to be a certain thing in order to do the other thing. And they don't want people who are playing cosplay to have to be under that kind of scrutiny. But it's changing. And the reason it's changing is because it was already changing, and last night just accelerated it, much to their chagrin. I see it all over today. People are done. They're over it. They're completely saying, screw you. We're not going to take it anymore. Which you're going to see in the next couple of minutes, broadcast tonight on The 5, and you're going to see some pissed off people.
5%, 20 million AR-style guns in this country, 20 million of 400 million guns in this country. Only 4% of guns used in homicide are rifles, and that's a much bigger category than AR. So what you're saying is you want me to ban 5% of the guns in this country that are used in 4% of the homicides, and that's going to save our kids. No. Is it going to stop incidents like this? Probably not, because they're already out there. Is it going to stop Democrats from using incidents like this to find some linchpin to raise money and create fear and maybe win an election? No, they're not going to stop either, because they still say that we want to prevent gay people from getting married, and that's been buried for a long time. What it's going to do is it's going to stop people from, like me, from going and buying a gun from someone I know to be law-abiding, to use to hunt with or protect my house, or, you know what, to relieve stress with, because it's been a long day and I want to go shoot a target. That's my right. That's the right of 350 million Americans. It's protected in the Constitution. If you want to take a flip side of this, you said that the National Guard for these incidents is gun control. How about I tell you this? 183 kids died in Illinois last year on average, so could have been more last year, from gun violence. More than half of those were handguns. Let's see, 20 a year die in D.C. Most of those handguns. Since 1999, let's go back to 1999 because that's Columbine. So just over the last 25 years, that means 250 children died in D.C. from gun violence, mostly handguns. In that same period of time, less than 210 children died in what we would call a mass shooting, and not all of those were from an AR. Why do I bring this up? It's not in some major defense of AR. It's to say that Democrats are absolutely 100% not at all concerned with saving the lives of children. Because if you are, you're going to President Trump right now and saying, God, please bring the National Guard to Chicago. 183 kids a year die from gun violence, most of them handguns, and just because of D.C. versus Heller and the Brune rule, handguns are the most constitutionally protected gun out there. What's that mean? It means Democrats can't go after them. They've tried to. It failed. The Supreme Court said, nope, you have the right to carry them. So now they're going to go after 5% of guns used in 4% of homicides at best, because that's the political win. But the actual win, the saving children's lives, is what Trump's doing in D.C. right now. The actual win, the saving children's lives, is mandating fortification of our most precious individuals in this country. What's the average salary of a police officer? What, $50,000? Not even that in most rural places. We can't pony up to put an RSO at every school to make sure every school has an armed guard out front of it. No, that makes our gun feel like prisons. Okay. Well,
he's bringing it. And I love it because everything he just said is how you beat liberals. You beat liberals with facts. Facts trump, no pun intended, facts trump emotions. All they are is up in their feels. Oh my goodness, oh my God. And they can't address you with facts. And so the more people who go out there and bring facts to the argument, if you even can get them to sit down and listen. See, that's the other problem. What Joey's doing is pretty much wasted breath. They don't care. It's like they put their fingers in their ears like stupid people do, and they don't want to hear it. They're complete obtuse ignorance. That's the entire problem, or the biggest problem I see with everybody who's a liberal, is you can't bring facts to an argument. When they're stuck on emotion and you're talking facts, where do you go? It's like you just throw up your hands and walk away. It makes no sense.
you know what? You don't like the National Guard picking up trash in D.C. You'd rather it look like a wasteland with people crapping their pants right in front of the Capitol. If we're looking at optics here, you know, I would like to not walk past the drug-using trash I walk past to get to my hotel. I wouldn't mind an armed guard. I've got respect for that person. If you want to save children's lives, pay attention to what President Trump's doing. Pay attention to this narrative about closing the border. Pay attention to this narrative about fortifying the places like schools that matter, because 5% of guns used in 4% of homicides, banning those, no, that's bullcrap. That's partisan, political. That is not saving children's lives. If one of that
4%, I think you'd be singing a different tune.
Yeah, but my kid isn't, so I'm not.
Lucky you.
Oh, Joey smacked Jessica upside the head. I can't believe she still has a job there. He's bringing facts. She's bringing emotion. When you look at CNN and you look at MSNBC, it's all emotion. There is no fact in terms of being able to have a rational argument. Because if they wanted facts, they would have looked at what this kid posted yesterday. They would have addressed what he posted. They would address the videos. They would address the weaponry. They would address what he wrote on it. Let me know if you know any of this stuff, or actually you probably know. Did you hear any of this stuff about his cache of weapons and what he wrote on them on any of those liberal stations? To me, if you really cared about kids, you would say, maybe we need to stop doing this crazy stuff and encouraging this crazy activity. If you're going to keep encouraging this crazy activity, you're going to keep getting this stuff. It keeps happening in this one community. There's a common denominator. It's a fact. You can't run from it. It's an absolute fact. Why is it that the kids who are of this affliction continue to do this type of stuff?
But there are families right now that are grieving because their kids were part of that.
I'll go to bed tonight and thank God on my knees that don't exist anymore, that my child is still alive, and any Democrat politician that says I'm wrong for that anyone's wrong for praying, God help you.
Thoughts and prayers. That is.
And that's the crux of it. I just showed you because I wanted to see what they were doing at this prayer meeting tonight. As people on television are trying to denigrate people who pray, the actual people in Minneapolis who are seeking prayer tonight, the actual leaders didn't show up. That should tell everybody in that city everything. That's everything you need to know. Who is guiding them? Who is guiding their decisions? Do they really care about you? They don't even come and show up in your darkest hour of need. Incredible. Greg Gutfeld just rips it here.
All they are offering.
Thoughts and prayers just aren't enough here right now, because these kids were actually praying.
At the end of the day, thoughts and prayers have led us to having more of these deaths, more of these shootings.
Keep us in your thoughts and prayers, but also keep us in the thoughts for action.
A Okay, Greg, I'm going to go to you because when this all was happening, I thought, wow, okay, this feels like something Greg either predicted or could have told you was going to happen again.
Yes. This is why none of these a-holes can lecture anyone on compassion. The most compassionate people on this planet are trying to stop the trans delusion. The least compassionate are the people in the media, academia, and politicians who enabled this hysteria of horror. What is so glaring about the trans cult? Apparently your identity is the only thing that matters until you do something awful. Then it's the least important variable. Then you look at everything else. You talk about guns, but you suddenly, it's all of a sudden like, oh, we can't talk about that. What was it, the other trans shooter that they actually hid her identity? In this manifesto that this creep wrote, he said he was tired of being trans and that he had wished he had never brainwashed himself. What more do you need straight from the monster's mouth? Politicians, activists, teachers, you built this. You could have listened to the warnings. We were talking about this on this show for years. You amplified a hysterical, literally hysterical phenomenon that was going no place good. You created a poisonous program that twisted young minds for destruction, a nihilistic place to be when you deny biology and they have nowhere to go. So all of these media arguments, what you're seeing there among those people, it's to escape their own culpability in the reality that they created. So forget the layer of mental illness and gun control. The origin of the evil lies in the creation of a mindset that indulged a delusional self, ruining connections with fellow human beings. So that trans, by ascribing extreme aggrieved mentality, then gets directed against society, so this person feels justified in killing children. His killing resulted from that ideology. And if you don't believe that, you're one dumb asshole.
Tell us how you really feel, Greg. But he's right. He's not wrong. He's not wrong whatsoever. Hold on. So I'm talking to the people at Rumble. It says my team. He says my team says the only fix is to restart. Up to you if you want to do that. I would hate to kill your momentum on YouTube. Either way, we have guys looking into the cause. Sorry about that. All right. So. Just to jump ahead, we're going to do the Rumble jump over a different way tonight. So we're going to show the movie, but what I'm going to have to do when I'm done here, instead of a jump over, we're just going to have like a restart over on Rumble. So give me like 5 minutes in between the time when we sign off. Basically, it's just a matter of me clicking a few different buttons, but we will be showing the movie as soon as we jump over. So bear with me here, but I'll give you enough time, and then just give me like 5 or 10 minutes to reconfigure Rumble. But if I do it now, everything will shut down, and I don't want that to happen. So when I shut it down, this will end, and then I'll come back up with the movie. Sorry about that. Technology, that's how it is. I thought it was me. It wasn't me. Okay, just so you know. All right, so yeah, Greg was absolutely right. Absolutely right. What do you do with people who have this kind of mentality where the day after 20-something people end up getting shot? Hold on. I got to cut to this. They're having a presser. Hold on.
The shooter saw the attack as a way to target our most vulnerable among us while they were at their most vulnerable. At school and at church.
So this guy should never have been near.
All right, so yeah, obviously they're at their most vulnerable. I didn't need a brain surgeon to tell you that. They're not accepting, as we said it before, the root cause. The root cause is easily addressable. You can look at the one before, you can look at the one before that, and you can keep looking around, and you can see what the root cause is. In fact, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe Greg Gutfeld. You don't have to believe anybody. Believe the person himself. The person himself said, I am tired of being like this. I am tired of the brainwashing. And so if the person doing this is telling you this, why are people on the left Democrats and the media one and the same. Why are they not believing it? Why are they looking for everything else is the gun? I'll tell you why. Because they can't admit that they have screwed these kids up so bad that they've retooled their minds. And you've got a bunch of people running around who have no identity, who don't know what the hell's going on, who've had their parts messed up, their entire organs are screwed up, their hormones, all of it. And none of these people want to take any culpability. But unfortunately for them, there is somebody who's going to dig into this and dig hard, and that'll be RFK Jr. Listen to this.
I certainly consider mass shootings a health crisis, and we are doing for the first time real studies to find out what the etiology of that is. And we're looking for the first time at psychiatric drugs. You know, these kind of mass shooting, people have had guns in this country forever. When I was a kid, we had shooting clubs at our school. People, kids, my classmates, other people would bring a .22 rifle with their guns to school and park it in the parking lot. Nobody was shooting, so there's never been a time.
Do you guys remember that? You guys remember when there was the 4-H and the AGs and everything else, and there was also shooting clubs back in school? And it's funny because we can't even hardly say the word. I couldn't pull out anything and show it to you. It's offensive now. And we, growing up, if you're around my age, everybody did it. Your father had one, your brother, your uncle, maybe even you. It was a rite of passage. You were taken outside. Hey, check out that target. Okay. But now it's become offensive. The people who grew up and learned it, that we're the bad people, not the ones who are hormonally deficient. And so what Robert F. Kennedy is doing right now is going to destroy that complete ideology. There can't be those people without the drugs that they give them, which alone should tell you, yeah, it's not natural. You don't wake up one morning and just your junk falls off and everything else. Nope. Many of us have higher or lower pitched voices. The ones who are malaffected, it's because you're taking drugs. You see, if the drug turns you into something, then it means that you aren't that to begin with. It's a very simple concept. There is no one who's going to be the other side if you don't take drugs and some sort of medications to become the other side. You are completely altering who you are. It's not who you are, because that's one of the big arguments they try to say. It's who I am. It's who I am. No, it's not who you are. Look in the flipping mirror, and that's who you are. Now, if you want to change that, the only way possible to change it is to put stuff in and take pills. That's it. And so every time they try to say to people that this is some kind of normal, well, if it was normal, why do you have to have medications? Nobody's going to ask that question. Nobody's going to answer it. And now you done screwed up, because now RFK Jr. is on it. And he's going to start looking at these medications, this SSRI stuff, and everything else that they've been thrusting upon these kids. What are you going to do now when you can't use those medications? I hope that's where it gets to. We're like, nope, you can't give that to kids. Can you imagine what will happen at that point? You will have people you think are freaking out now. What do you mean? I've already begun my transition. Well, the fact that you're saying transition, it means that you weren't the person you thought you were. Nobody has to transition into something they already are. The complete lie that they've been told, and the kid said it, being brainwashed. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And I don't blame him to that extent, because he probably didn't. I could not imagine taking that kind of life-altering medication for years and then one day waking up and go, what the hell's going on? So RFK Jr. is on it.
In America, in the history of humanity, and people walked into a crowd, into a church or a movie theater or a school or a crowd of strangers and just started randomly shooting. It's happening in our country. It's not happening around the world. And there are many other countries that have comparable levels of guns that we have in this country. We had comparable levels in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and people weren't doing that. Something changed, and it dramatically changed human behavior. And one of the culprits we need to examine is whether the fact that we are the most over-medicated nation in the world, and that a lot of those are psychiatric drugs that have black box warnings on them that warn of suicidal and homicidal ideation.
See, we covered that this morning, and I've talked to a few people since then, and you don't hear this in the media. And how I did know this. I didn't know they had suicidal warnings on their medication. Who would give their kid a medication that says it might make you want to kill yourself? Which doctor is out there prescribing this stuff saying, yeah, you want to change and do the flip over? Well, take this. And, but by the way, I can't be responsible if you decide one day to turn into a homicidal maniac, or worse, take yourself out, or both. Maybe it's no longer an either or question. You can do this and you can do that. That's what you're saying. You're non-binary. I can be homicidal and suicidal, and I'm just fine. I'll do it all. I can be a boy who's being a girl and take a dress and play sports, and I can kill or be killed. It doesn't matter. What have we done to these kids? Who allowed it to be done? I don't think it was Biden. I don't know who. We're going to, all of a sudden, we're just going to start dosing these kids. God help us. God help us. You can call Trump a lot of things. You can call MAGA a lot of things. But you can't say we've been treating children as lab rats. Y'all own this. You own every single bit of it. There is nothing you can say that can get people to forgive you for what you've done to children, for members of their family, by pushing this stuff on them and pushing it in movies, in cartoons, in music, and in getting celebrities and other people to say, oh, it's fantastic. That's fantastic. Oh, you did? Yeah, I got 3 of them myself. What? How did we get here? Well, number 1, ignoring God. And number 2, medicine. Or rather, poison. We've been giving kids poison for a number of years, and those of us who have been around the planet for some time, like, you'd look around like, this didn't used to happen, man. Nope, we didn't have them. There might have been some freaky kids, in your high school class. You're like, yeah, he's weird. But we didn't see this. Can you imagine going to high school these days? I could not even imagine going to school as a freshman and coming back as a sophomore and say, where's Bobby? Oh, she's over there. What do you mean? Bobby was in my homeroom class, and now it's Christina? What? How did that happen? What did you do over the summer when we're all going in and we're writing our summer, what do you call those things? Book reviews and stuff. Hey, how did you spend your summer? Well, I took a whole lot of medicine, and it poisoned me and turned me into a complete freak. And you're supposed to accept that. But worse, you expect the other kids to accept that. See, that's where it gets really, really bad, is not only are you poisoning certain individuals, but you're poisoning the kids who aren't taking it, because you're telling them they have to accept it. So understand, when you send Susie and Bobby off to school and they're seeing this stuff, they're not allowed to have an opinion. In fact, in California, if you don't like what you see, they're going to tell you you're having a mental defect. They actually passed that, where they're going to label girls who don't want to shower with boys, you got a mental problem. It's one thing to be poisoning the kids that are the guinea pigs. It's another thing to also make sure that the kids who aren't taking it understand you need to accept it with arms wide open.
We are doing those studies right now for the first time, and we will have an answer.
Man, it's absolutely crazy. Exactly, it's absolutely crazy. And you know, as somebody here who, hold on, I'm just trying to get to this point. As somebody who has grandkids, it terrifies me. It terrifies me that my two little granddaughters could show up in a school where they're like, hey, here's Mr. So-and-so. That's a woman. No, that's a man. That's a man. No, that's a woman. And here's your classmate. And they come home and hey, Ashley, Mommy, is it Halloween every day? Yeah, for these people it is. Guard your kids, man. Guard your kids. Is Rumble on? No, there's something wrong with Rumble tonight. I am sorry, but they're telling me I have to restart, which I will do. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of people. No, the problem isn't with YouTube because you're watching. The problem is on Rumble. Rumble, their people have already texted Ashley and said they're looking at it, but as of right now, it has not recovered. So you're not going crazy. It's just not working. So they're telling me to restart, but if I restart, then it could kill the entire stream, and I don't want to do that. So hang on. I'll tell you about the movie and what we're going to do. After about 100 messages about Rumble, people still asking. People don't read the chat. They expect it's like going to a restaurant. They want their ticket answered. That's it. Originally, it was supposed to be made to the point that it was okay to come out and say that you have manufacture a drug out of unlike canvas, which is natural. But they've also started, what's that? Somebody perverted the original meaning behind what was intended, as they always do. I will not knowingly eat anything soy. Let's see here. Same here, Barry. I have 4 grandsons, and ultimately that's why I am taking on the craziness of the radical Democrat politician cabal and the doctors. Barry's taking care of the Rumble issue. They are, okay? Hold on. Rumble should work. I will try in a little bit when we get done here. What else we got here? When the pharmaceuticals companies left the United States, they test every pill, every jab, all the time. And they test it guinea pig wise, like on here. There's, hey, Maximus, how you doing? There's nothing more than Frankenstein experiments on our kids. These people need to be removed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, says Barry, I was just on Rumble. It is up. SV, if you're here, can you check that? See if Rumble's back up. Let me check. I can't see it as such. Let me refresh over there. I don't see anything in there, so I don't think it has. Maybe it has. I don't know. You tell me, guys. SV, text me if Rumble's back up. Rumble up, Rumble up. All right. Lithium is a personality killer. They did this to so many people that never recovered their minds. Yes. So, what's this? Soy has been given a bad name for nothing. It does not stifle testosterone. SV says it's still not working. Very evil is not allowed in church. That's probably what happened. They all showed up and they're like, I can't even go in there. Why can't you go in there? We're not allowed in. So it's absolutely nuts. All right, let me continue. So with this whole thing about Trump breaking them, one of the things I want to show you now as I segue away from that kid, they don't know what to do. And it's because of all of the data that has been coming out. All the crime data that's coming out is showing what Trump did in Washington, D.C. absolutely, undeniably worked. And when something works, and when they see the polls, and they see that 56% of people think Trump did a good job, and 81% of people think that crime is a very important thing. I didn't know you needed a poll for that. I'm just thinking you could sit around your apartment or your house and just ask the people, hey man, you want to go out? Nope, it's too dangerous. Okay, it's important. You don't have to do this about safety. But nonetheless, when I started seeing the data come out, I knew the Democrats were in trouble, and they knew it as well, and it was just a matter of time before they made the pivot.
% decrease in assaults with a dangerous weapon and a 44% decrease in robbery. And when it comes to handling crime, overall, nationwide, the president has a 53% approval rating. Looking more broadly at all major cities beyond D.C., 81% in an AP poll are saying they think crime is a major problem in large cities. 18% say a minor problem. Just 1% say not a problem at all. And the mayor of this city that has been the test case, D.C., is now grateful to the president.
So I want to go back to that chart because that chart says everything. Hold on. Look at that. 81% of people. Okay. And that's not just one area. 81% of people say crime is a major problem. 18% say minor. 1% still living in their mama's basement say there's no problem whatsoever. It doesn't take a brain surgeon, including any Democrat, to look at that and go, we got an issue here. We have a major issue. The people want to be safe, which I cannot even fathom that there's anybody in politics who doesn't understand that is a primary objective for just about everybody. Everybody. 81 plus 18, because even at 18 they said it's a problem. 99% of Americans said, yeah, crime's an issue. When you see those kinds of numbers, you know, as a politician, we're on the wrong side of the fence here. We have got to change very quickly. Now, what do? You've been telling everybody for days now, for 2 weeks, that what Trump's doing is bad, bad, bad. He boxed you into a corner where even, now he's going to talk about Muriel Bowser had to come out and say, yeah, it kind of worked. Yeah, you're right.
A minor problem. Just 1% say not a problem at all. And the mayor of this city that has been the test case, D.C., is now grateful to the president for the help.
We greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. The
effort that will now take shape.
Okay, so now that they know it, even Muriel Bowser and that whole transition she had to go through. Remember, she felt like she was backed into a corner by Trump. They made her go out and say, I don't like it. They made the chief of police come out and say some crap. And now here it is a couple weeks later. She's like, yeah, it's worked. It's absolutely worked. And so once you see that, then the other ones have to fall in line.
Border Division down in San Diego. We're going to advance this effort down in L.A. To other parts of the Central Valley, not just limited to Bakersfield, in partnership with Mayor Go there in San Bernardino. And we're going to expand this operation in a collaborative that continues to include the cities and counties, our partners in the Sheriff's Office and local law enforcement agencies. We continue as well to work with the federal partners. I'll remind you, in San Francisco, working with the Biden administration, that...
Governor, I appreciate the investment.
It must have hurt coming out of his mouth. The words must have felt like razor blades falling out. We're going to have to do our own surge here? Yep. We're going to have to do something to show that we're going to fight crime? Yep. And I'm sure Brandon Johnson up in Chicago is feeling the same way. You saw the ladies from Flip Red today. The pressure is becoming so intense. So intense on them. They have to react. They don't want to. But at this point, other people are looking at this and going, why do they walk around at night? How come we can't walk around at night? Well, that's only one reason, because of who's in charge. So this exchange here with Wes Moore, in case you guys don't know who Wes Moore is, Wes Moore, he's another liberal governor, this time the governor of Maryland, and he bitched and moaned about Trump and everything else and said, we don't need it. I will never approve the military coming into my state. Well, it looks like he saw the data too.
But it would just seem to me, if despite that investment, Baltimore still ranks third in the nation in violent crime rate per capita in the nation, that you would welcome in the President of the United States' help if crime in Maryland. And as to the point of partisan politics, it's simply the truth. The truth isn't partisan. And the truth is most of the major cities in the United States are run by Democrat governors, and they're also the highest rate crime cities in the country. I'm on limited time, and I want to give you a chance to address something,
I would
though, Governor,
absolutely
because President
welcome
Trump brought
federal
it up.
support.
Apparently.
Will was talking so fast. I got to get out of here. You got 30. Yeah, I'll do it. Okay. I don't even think Will heard him. He was talking so fast. Yeah, I would absolutely love it. Trump took them and went, boop, they're broken. They're absolutely broken. It's over. Between what happened yesterday and everybody seeing the manifesto and seeing these people flail and say you're bad for praying, your prayers are nonsense, and Washington, D.C. becoming safe and beginning to look beautiful, and other people, 81%, his numbers are up, and now they're all going, yeah, we'll do it. Why now? See, if I lived in Baltimore, I would be like, what the F? You mean we've been suffering here? We've had our cars jacked. We've had people shot. And now all of a sudden, you want to have Trump roll in the National Guard? You're okay with it? You're a piece of crap.
There we go. You would welcome federal support. That's wonderful to hear.
I would absolutely welcome federal support.
Happy to hear that.
But I also know what federal support is going to be necessary and required. It's the reason that I've said we would love to have additional support for license plate readers, things that we know can actually stop crimes as they are happening and making sure that people are brought to justice, and not having $30 million cut from public safety budgeting that is coming from the federal government. That I would love to be able to make sure that the federal government can do things like ban ghost guns and making sure we're...
Will's like, oh, God. So you don't really want support. You want money. That's what you're saying. Give us money. That's what you want. That ain't gonna happen. Ghost guns? That's a big problem. Not. Hey, Wes, let me come up. I'll take you on a trip into one of your own cities. I'll take you down to the Inner Harbor. I want you to put on a baseball hat and a hoodie and just hang out like you're just hanging out. Put a chain on. And I'm just going to ask you, can you walk down there by yourself? No guards. Can you just walk down there? And when you get to the end, holla if you get to the end. These people are so full of crap. It's coming now. It's definitely coming.
We're eliminating these extended clips for Glocks, which essentially are turning Glocks into automatic weapons. I would love to make sure we're investing in local law enforcement, because we are watching cuts that are happening to local law enforcement and also gun safety funding.
Governor, we can't let all of that stand in the way of the immediate solution being offered by the federal government. Well, you can't let all of that stand in the way and be an excuse for rejecting the solution being offered at the doorstep, which is the help of the federal government when it comes to National Guard.
That's right, President.
Yeah. Oh, the twister game that these people are playing, Newsom and Wes Moore and Pritzker, it's a losing argument. They know what the data says. The data says people want safety. Now, I don't know if you've seen videos recently of Fisherman's Wharf and how empty that is, but Baltimore, as I've said many times, is a beautiful area if you can actually go there. If you could actually take your family and go into Phillips Seafood and walk across the, see the big boats in the USS Constitution, and over that side you got the aquarium, but you couldn't wear any jewelry. Somebody somewhere needs to take the initiative to take the cities back. That's why I love talking to those ladies from Chicago Flips Red, because it's not gonna work up here. It's gonna work down here, because those people aren't listening. The people in the street will listen. The people who have to deal with this every single day will listen. They've been ignored for decades. Except every 2 or 4 years, then they come in and talk to you, nice little black people. Or Hispanic, or whatever. Man, it's crazy. Trump is big dog daddy. I love to see Trump go in. Where's that? Somebody said, I want to go see Trump go into Philadelphia. They'd lose their minds. Can you imagine if President Trump rolled into Kensington? And if you guys have not seen Kensington, I've asked you a few times, go look, Google and YouTube Kensington. And you'll see the zombie apocalypse happening right in front of you. You don't need cable. You don't need cable or TMC or AMC to see The Walking Dead. You don't have to pay for it. Just go on YouTube and put in Kensington zombies. And you're like, that's really the flipping Walking Dead. So if Trump were to go into Philadelphia and clean that up, can you imagine people saying there's no more of these people defecating, peeing, sleeping, doing all the stuff they're doing and just hang. I don't even know how your body does that. It seems as though the Democrats have facilitated so much pharmaceutical experimentation on their own people. So much. You got the recreational stuff like that's happening in Kensington. You've got the trans stuff that's happening in schools. And they're all just zombies. Oh, everybody. And his letter yesterday said it all. I am tired of being brainwashed. Why are the cities the biggest crime issues? Why? Because they want it that way. I've said it before. I truly feel at this point that the reason the big cities are what they are is because they're allowed to do anything they want there. Just think back of all the elections that you've ever seen and watched on TV. You turn on the TV at 8 o'clock to get the results, and what's the first thing they say? Well, we're waiting for Fulton County. We're waiting for Philadelphia. We're waiting for Detroit. Why can you guys not get your votes counted? Because you don't know what you need yet. Until you know what you need, you can't really count the votes. And so they know it's such a den of iniquity, they can get away with anything there. The sound cut off? No, I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, it's hell on earth in some of these places. Yeah, exactly, it is. Crime lets them hold power using fear-mongering. Exactly. Right here. The big cities are ignored by Dems in power so that everyone, they'd scream that he's taking away the zombies' rights. You know what I'm going to do? I think maybe, tomorrow's Friday. There's one show. So basically next Monday when everyone's on vacation or taking a weekend off, which I hope you guys will do, we'll do a Monday night show. And I'll show you, if you haven't seen these zombies in Kensington, Pennsylvania, a certain neighborhood in Philadelphia, I'm going to show it to you. And you're going to like, there's no way. Oh, yeah, way. Definitely. Newcomers are moving to small town America. Well, since you mentioned the newcomers, let's listen to what the newcomer boss has to say.
I'm thinking about it.
Mr. Holman, a question about ramping up after Labor Day.
Operations are ramping up across the country, but you can see a ramp up of operations in Chicago, absolutely. You're going to see a ramp up of operations in New York. You're going to see a ramp up of operations continue in LA. And, Portland, Seattle. I mean, all these sanctuary cities that refuse to work with ICE, where we know public safety threats are being released every day into this country, especially those cities, we're going to address that. We don't have that problem in Texas and Florida where all the sheriffs are working with us and they're actually holding people for us and letting us know when someone's being released. So we're going to take the assets we have and move them to problem areas like sanctuary cities where we know for a fact they're releasing public safety threat, illegal aliens to the streets every day. That's where we need to send the majority of the resources, and that's where they're going.
Mr. Holman, only...
So much for backing down. They're coming, they're going to keep coming, and they're going to go and spread it out to more of the blue cities, which he should. Keep the pressure on. And when I'm talking about pressure, and we talk about flooding the zone, one of the things that you're obviously seeing at this point is that the Democrats don't know where to put their people. And now they've opened up a new area of attack because RFK Jr. is going to come after them and come after their trans stuff with the medicines, the pharmaceuticals, the poison. So he's going to fight the poison, which is going to cause them to deflect. He fired a whole bunch of people today from the CDC. Now they're trying to sue to keep their jobs as well. And Trump's suing, the Federal Reserve. And Tom Homan's doing this. And Tulsi Gabbard's doing this. And Pam Bondi's doing this. And Ed Martin is going at... There's so much happening. And let me give you a little hint. No, not a hint. More of a prediction. Everybody's going away this weekend, right? This Labor Day weekend. Congress isn't in. Football games start. A lot of activities going on. Don't be surprised if you see Trump make a move this weekend. He knows now people are going to, and especially these politicians, they can't wait to get out of town. They don't care. Hey, it's a long four-day weekend. We're done. Labor Day? Yeah, I got 4 days off. Let's go on a boat. Just do something. And I bet you, I would almost bet, no, I will bet something will be done this weekend. We'll say, oh boy, because they're not going to be looking for it. It's not like I have a crystal ball. I'm just thinking to myself, this would be a perfect time for Trump to do something because it's the least time that they would expect it to happen. And they're gone. They're not going to give up their holiday. No, ain't going to happen.
Immigration. The Trump administration is considering reduce the duration of visa for students and journalists.
He's a significant public safety threat. You got it right. He's a gang member, designated terrorist. And he's been ordered removed by 2 different federal judges. He's been indicted for human trafficking and alien smuggling. He's a bad man. And I'm telling you, I'm giving you my word. He will be deported from this country. I got my teeth in this thing. I'm not letting it go. As far as the story now, he's going to claim asylum. First of all, he's beyond the required 1 year. He's been here longer than that, so he should be able to qualify for asylum. And if the judge rules on the law is about asylum seekers. You got to be escaping fear and persecution from your home government because of race, religion, and political affiliation. Well, he's not going to his home country, right? So he's going to either Uganda or any other country we decide to send.
Oh my God! I cannot believe they planted their flag on this hill. This is the hill that they want to die on, the Maryland man, and sue everybody, sue everything, and now at this late date, let's claim asylum. Good luck.
What is the evidence that he can present that he's going to be persecuted because of his race, religion, and political affiliation? He's got to present that evidence. He doesn't have that evidence. So if the judge rules on the law, he's gone.
However, as you know, these judges have not been ruling on the so-called law. They've been ruling on emotion. They don't care about the law. All they care about is keeping the cause going. And so here we are. You can expect there's going to be a stupid decision, and they'll take it to the appellate court, and they'll knock it down, and then they'll try to take it to the Supreme Court, all for nothing. They are spending all kinds of money, millions, literally millions of dollars to keep this guy here. These are the same people that says we need money and resources, and you're spending millions of dollars to keep this one guy in America. Makes absolutely no sense. None whatsoever. It's horrible. All right, so before I do my somewhat of a jump over, whatever it is, again, I'll explain it when I'm done here. I don't know if you guys caught this. This was something that Melania came out with, and it kind of made some news, but then it kind of didn't make some news because of the shooting yesterday and everything else. So, if you haven't seen this, let me go ahead and...
Good luck.
All right, so Melania is going to be spearheading the AI challenge, which exactly what is, you may be thinking, what the heck is the AI challenge? So let's look at this. First Lady Melania Trump launches nationwide presidential AI challenge. First Lady Melania Trump announced the Presidential Artificial Intelligence Challenge, inviting K-12, basically kindergarten to seniors in high school, and educators across America to participate. The Presidential AI Challenge will be the first step in preparing our next generation with a base understanding of this important new technology. In a recent video on AI.gov, she reflected on her own experience with AI while creating her audiobook, emphasizing transformative potential and inherent risks of this technology. Mrs. Trump, in just a few short years, artificial intelligence will be the engine driving every business sector across our economy. It's important America leads the rest of the world. Through initiatives like the Presidential AI Challenge, Mrs. Trump aims to empower the next generation to explore and innovate with this rapidly evolving field. To watch this video, learn more, and sign up for the Presidential AI Challenge, visit that website and be ready. So I know there's a lot of you, a lot of people who are set in their ways and are like, I don't want nothing to do with this. At this point, I think you have to realize there's no stopping it. And President Trump, I think, here is making a huge move, a giant move to basically bypassing our age group. He's not going to waste time leading old horses to water they won't drink. You're going to have to take it upon yourself. Maybe you sneak in and have your grandkid or somebody sign you up so you can actually learn about AI instead of reading all kinds of crazy stuff. That genie is never going back in the bottle. I am not going to browbeat people who are afraid of it, think it's evil or anything else. All I'm going to tell you is if you don't begin immersing yourself in it, you will be left behind. There will be no aspect of your life that is not affected, driven, or even, how can I say this, rewarded if you're not using AI. And it's going to happen very, 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 very fast. And one of the things I absolutely love, we started our X group some time ago. And I always tell people, hey, if you want to sign up for our X group, please do so. And it's funny. Let me bring that up so I can show people. And we started off from zero. There was nobody in it. Ashley and I just sat back and we talked and like, should we do that? And I kept encouraging people to go to fanfareshop.org/group and join 15,000, which is now close to 18,000 fellow patriots. And we started that from zero. There was nobody there. And I said, do this, and you'll be able to get your feet wet in X, and you'll be able to see around. It'll be a safe space. We'll make sure it's curated. We'll make sure that there's no bad people in there. And SV and myself, sometimes we go in and make sure we delete people who are making craziness. But my point with this is, I can't tell you how many times I've posted something, and somebody comments to me, and he says, oh, Grok says this. Hey, Barry, I looked it up and Grok said that. And it makes me smile. It makes me smile because it's like we've launched a whole bunch of digital soldiers out there who now are getting their feet wet and moving around and playing with AI. And you know, I watch, I love Beth's Baby Barry. And I'm like, that's AI. That's not me. I didn't go back to the future. That's completely AI. And I'm watching people in our community who had no idea what to do. They weren't even part of X. And they went from being a part of X to communicating and curating content. I can't even tell you how many times people send me stories. Check this out. Check this out. And then, of course, now it's evolved to the point where so many people will say, I saw this, Barry, and Grok said this. And I just sit back and I'll show Robin. I'm like, look what's happening. Look, and I'll scroll and I'll show her. I'm like, I can't believe it. People are taking, I won't say the plunge, they dip their toe into it and they're getting familiar with it and they realize I didn't get bit and they're becoming proficient. I don't even know how Beth puts those, I don't even know what website she goes to put those videos together with Baby Barry. I've never ventured there. I use AI significantly. I use AI, I use Grok, I use ChatGPT, and all the other stuff that we do here in the background. I use it with editing. Sometimes if I'm going to do a cut video and I need to put it up the next day and I need to take a segment of our show, download the show, I put it in a program, and I know what keywords I'm looking for. So if it was RFK Jr., I can tomorrow put this show into this program and say, go to where I start talking about RFK. I'm like, first time I used it, I went, oh my God. And it'll go right here. And I'm like, wow. Or sometimes when I've got my notepad in front of me, sometimes I'll take a note from one of your comments or something, and like I'll look over, and like right now where SV just put this up, all right? So SV put this up right there. And I can say, okay, at 1:07, 1 hour and 7 minutes into the show, go to SV's comment. It'll go right to it. And so I can see what we're talking about and what was happening right there. Somebody said they have never seen Baby Barry. Beth, people are like, what is a Baby Barry? Oh my goodness. Let me go ahead and I'm copying this link she put up here. She makes them all the time and they're hilarious. Oh my gosh. Baby Barry. Let me see if I can download it and put it in here. Her last one. Will it come up for me? It's loading. It's some embarrassing stuff, but it's funny. Yeah, so Beth, you're gonna have to like put a class together on how you put these together, because they're hilarious. She's done a whole bunch of them. Hold on, let me see if I can bring this one in. And if I can bring it in, I'll play it right now. Yeah, I can play it. Hold on. I don't know how the AI did this. It's kind of scary when you think about it. Okay, so you guys want to see Baby Barry, huh? Let's look at Baby Barry. 1 second, I'm gonna pull it in. Oh gosh, this is too funny. Hold on, let me find it. All right, here we go. I can't help it. At that point, if I was Joe, I just click the button, do a commercial or something. Just roll the tape of Trump talking or something. You got to repeat. I can't do this anymore. I can't really. Joe, I feel bad. That was one of her shorter ones, but she's got a whole bunch of them. But that's AI. That is Baby Barry. That is AI, and you can like do so much with it. You've seen the Trump ones. I've used a couple of Trump ones when he was talking about what was it? Let me see if I can find that. When Trump was talking about Cracker Barrel. Hold on, there's a whole bunch of baby Trumps out there. I mean, they're everywhere with Trump talking. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real funny. But anyway, my point is that these are things that are being done with AI. These are all things that are completely, I wouldn't say easy, but let me see if I can. Oh, here's the one. Yeah, is that my post? No, it's not my post. Hold on. Let me grab this and bring it in. I love this one. This one was about Cracker Barrel. I think it's got a couple dirty words in it, so please forgive me if it's got a couple swear words. But sometimes these things are just really funny. Okay.
Cracker Barrel. The name alone, it's sacred. It's America. It's rocking chairs, biscuits the size of your fist, and a store full of things nobody asked for, but you buy anyway. And now they've gone and changed the logo. Here's the truth. Nobody asked for a new logo. What we wanted was unlimited biscuits. What we wanted was a third peg in that triangle game so we could finally win. But no. Instead of giving the people what they want, they gave us a logo that looks like it was designed by sleepy Joe Biden. At what point do we as a country put a stop to this tyrannical destruction of our rich culture and history?
Those things are all over the place. I mean, they are literally all over the place. I've seen the Trump ones. Yeah, baby Trump. They're everywhere. So, again, excuse me. It's something that Melania is pushing to kids to get them used to the different ways that you can be using AI. And I just encourage you, I'm not compelling you. I know there's a lot of people who just simply don't like AI. Just, that is what it is. They don't like AI, and you're not going to force them. But the rest of you who have an interest in maybe, perhaps, changing things and doing something different, go for it. Absolutely go for it. All right, I see that Rumble is still not working. So here's what I'm going to do. I got this movie. It's a long movie. If you guys are, okay, let me ask you in the chat. It is now 8:51. Once I get the new Rumble stream up and everything, it'll probably be about 9:05. It's a 2-hour plus movie. If you guys are up for it, I'm going to roll it. So let me get through super chats really quick here. Are there more baby berries? Yes, there's a whole bunch. Ask Beth. She's been putting all these things together. They're all ready. Where is this? I just saw something. Grace says, I don't like AI. Okay. And the first thing I would say to her would be, what do you don't like about AI? Because if you don't like AI, have you even used it? You have. I can tell you have. You just may not realize you have. You have definitely used AI. I feel 100% certain. But I just wonder what part of AI you don't like. Just would love to know. Which movie is it? It is Codex 9/11. And Codex 9/11 is a... it's too late to do the movie. Is about too late. All right. Yes, I want to say yes. I'll watch it. All right. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna roll it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to do the super chats, and then I'm going to shut down. So when I shut down, it's gonna go off. Rumble's not working. I'm gonna restart the software, and then I'm gonna come back up. Probably by 5 after. Right about 5 after, I'll come up and run it. All right. So the movie is called Codex 11. It's about what happened at 9/11. It says, please reschedule. Okay. So I'm saying yes to movie. Sleepy time, but I can't cast the remainder yet later. Yep. It's Codex 9/11. Let's see here. Some people say they'll stay. You know what? I'll do it. It's only 5:53 in Cali, so I'm good. All right, so here's what's going to happen. If you're following us on X, if not, what you're going to see. You know what? I can't do it that way either. Let me see here. Let me do super chats and then do some technical. I know what I can do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the super chats. I'm going to start the after party. The after party is like 25 minutes. When I've got everything configured, I'm going to come back in here and tell you what we're going to be doing. That's probably the easiest way. And then by that time, I will have a link for it. I should have a link for you. No, I have to shut. Oh, Rumble's already shut down. Nope, I have to shut it down. I'm going to have to shut it down. No other way around it. All right, so let me do super chats, and I may have to watch it later. It looks like about 50-50, but we'll get it done one way or the other, because Rumble right now is not working, and I thought it was me the whole time. It wasn't me. I'm so glad to hear that. All right, so let me do super chats. We'll close down, and then let's look for the new link relatively shortly. All right, because I got to acknowledge everybody. All right, so Kelly Panetsky, thank you. G. Fisher, Goodell and the NFL are complicit. They've been playing right along with the trans BS. Will this a-hole keep the trans cheerleaders, or will he stop the madness? I can tell you it's not Goodell. And how do I tell you that? I think it's a team decision, because we don't have them down here in Miami. We were at the game. They weren't there. I'd have walked out. Carl Hassenauer, buckle up with the armor of God, prophecy by Kim Clement. DJT will serve 2 terms. July 2025 will be strange. Many will fall in the fall. There will be a tremendous shaking of Dems and Republicans. July 2025, it already passed. Diane Kelly, thanks for all you do. Bring us, and can we ever see your wife? She doesn't like getting on camera. Buddy Sanders kept a rifle in my wall locker in high school. We all did. My girlfriend carried a pistol in school. You're going way back, bro. Critter 3, Barry, what TV show was recommended a couple of days ago? I'm looking for something good to binge watch. Person of Interest with Jim Caviezel. Go ahead and check that out. I think it's on not Netflix, Amazon Prime. Buddy Sanders, that's what he just said. Mary Boston, it's only common sense that you can't change your God-given nature. The devil is in those deranged alterations. The psychic can't be altered. Agreed. Dave Rutan, what's really sick, there are those that are using these kids and programming them with these drugs to do the things they would never do themselves. I completely agree with that. Carl Hassenauer, tried Chantix in 2010 to stop smoking. It didn't work for me. Pfizer took it off the market. Why? They found it would cause cancer. Nikki Hayes, I graduated in 2016 from high school. It was awful, especially for Christians. If you didn't sleep around or if you weren't one of those people, you were looked at as a freak. I can believe that. Cindy Brook, now we know where the American truckers are, Kensington. Oh, it's kind of scary. Lori Lynn, suggestion for Roman music, The Night Chicago Died. The band, great band, Leon Helm. I think that's the one. No, that's Dixie. Like the night they drove old Dixie down. BLS Groom Crew, I'm off work till the 8th, Barry. Good for you, bro. Born on the 4th. FYI, a law was passed in 86 called the Liability Shield, protecting Big Pharma from any liability against childhood jabs. In 1960, there were 3. Since the 1986 law, the CD schedule went to approximately 12 by 2016. Party Dog, we will have to give the Maryland man a new nickname, the man from Uganda. I wonder how long he'll last in Uganda. Just another knucklehead. I am 65. I don't need grandson to do my computer networking job. Send me the AI training stuff. Ask Melania. Go to her website, ai.gov, I think is what it was. Hello, Kelly. Thank you. MC Recovery. Thank you. France. I've started using Grok based on your encouragement. I'm using it more and more and becoming more and more comfortable with it. That's it. Baby steps at first, and then from there. Do you know how... Let me show you something, how easy it is to use Grok. I'll be right up when I get done here. I'm going to show you. Randy Rittenhouse, Barry, I've learned to use AI to write songs and to write a melody to go with the words. Effing fantastic. Rick Williams, Department of Defense, Department of War has assigned 20 JAG lawyers, Assistant U.S. Attorney Judge Janine, to help with prosecutions in D.C. No specific jury is required when JAG is involved. Love that. It's up, Nicholas Lamonicus, thank you, and Neo. Love the Baby Barry. Thank you for always entertaining, even Baby Barry. God bless you, the fanfare team. Yes, okay. Let me show you an easy thing with Grok. I mean, this is real easy. You want to start learning some stuff in what do you call it? AI without even really getting into it. Let me see. What's the last thing one of our guys put up? All right, so let me show you this. All right, here. Nick Sortor posted this, and it says, just in, the founder of Cracker Barrel, 93-year-old Tommy Lowe, just slammed the woke rebrand of the restaurant. It's crazy, it's pitiful. Mr. Lowe also hit the new leftist CEO, spending $700 million to do that. They're just throwing money out on the street. All right, so what I'm going to show you is so easy, you may not realize it's this easy. Do you see up there in the upper right here, that little symbol that you may not have even understood what that means? If you're looking at a post, this one's pretty easy to understand. But let's say you looked at a post and don't really understand. If you just click this, just by clicking it, I'm going to have to bring the other side menu out. Hold on. Just by clicking that, let me show you what just happened. Where'd it go? Hold on. I got to move the window out. Where'd it go? All right. So let me move this over here. Okay. Hold on. Once I click that, a little window opened up to the side. That window opened up to the side, and I'm trying to make it so you guys can see it. Here it is. Okay. And it popped up, and it says, this post references a video. It explains to you what you're looking at. So that's an easy one to understand. But let's say there was something there, you're like, I don't really understand what they just said. All you got to do is click that button, excuse me, and it will give you a synopsis. Tommy Lowe, the 93-year-old co-founder, he criticizes the recent rebranding efforts of the restaurant. This backlash is a part of yada yada. But look at all the information you get. The rebranding involved, it tells you all this way more than the post did. Look at it, it's still going. Look at all that information you get. All I did was click one button. One button. That one button was right here. That's it. Once I clicked that one button, all that information just popped up. So if you're looking at a very involved post, something about military or finance, let me see if I can find something from CNBC. Hold on. Oh, no, I know where I can go. If I went here, I'm pretty sure I'm going to see a financial post. Let me see here. Oh, Stephen Miller was on. Was he on? Yeah, he was on Laura again tonight. Let me find a financial post real quick. I'm sure there's one here somewhere on rapid response. All right, here. There's one here from Howard Lutnick. The numbers are in. GDP growth has surged by 3.3%. And starting now, e-commerce Gov has put America's economic data on the blockchain for the first time ever. Under President Trump, the economy is strong. Our numbers, our workers are winning, and America is leading in crypto and economic innovation. All right, there's a lot to digest there. You may not understand it. You click here, and boom. On the side here again, let me make this window differently. All this information just popped up. Howard Lutnick, it tells you what he did today, what's going on, and you can just look at all this. All that information was just pulled in about that one little post that Howard put up. So all you've got to do, if there's anything you don't understand, you literally can click one button to get a whole bunch more information for free. Absolutely for free. I wonder how many of you guys knew that. How many of you guys knew that? I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of AI. I tried customer service for my gas company and couldn't get my problem solved. I want people again. That's a little bit different. That's a little bit different. I use Grok to make my zombie Jefferson icon on Rumble. Yep, it does pictures as well. All right, very well. All right, so I did the super chats. Let me just see if Rumble has come back up. You know what? It's already 9 o'clock. I mean, are you guys seriously up for a 2-hour movie? Yeah, because Rumble's not. Wait a minute. Let me see if Rumble is working. Hold on. Let me put the after party. Let me start because it's a long movie. It's a good movie, but it's very, very long. I see people making comments over there, so let me just check and see if it's up. Hold on. I just have to go here because I'm seeing a whole bunch of. Oh, it looks like it's I don't know. You guys, SV, hit me up and let me know because I'm seeing comments rolling in from Rumble. Wait a second. Let me check this and see if it's up and running. If it's up and running, we're good, and we'll start it. Rumble's still down for you? Let me see. Yeah, it's still down. All right, so I'm going to have to bring it down, close everything down, and then restart. So let me just go ahead and do that and bid you guys adieu here. And look for me. What's this say? It just says 6 months ago. 6 minutes ago. All right, so I'm going to close this down and look for me on Rumble. I'll make a post in X real quick here. But thank you guys for watching. Here, see you in a minute. See you. It's 9:05. See you by 9:15.